First we have to go to the word Semchung. Oh, sorry. Semchung. Sem means mind, main mind, awareness. What does it feel like if someone hits you very hard, you lose it for a while? I mean, on a gross level. Awareness, which is the miracle of your mind, right? You're aware of the world. Okay, that's called Sem, Chitta. Then the different functions in your mind, like anger, faith, love, intelligence, these are called Semchung. In Sanskrit, when you want to say something comes from something else, you make the you make the vowel stronger. So I, chitta, I, C-H-I, becomes chaita. And that means a function inside the mind. Chitta is the main mind. Chaita is the small part of the mind. Any part of the mind. Any function of the mind. Okay? So chitta means general awareness. You're alive. And chaita means the anger, logic, jealousy, happiness. Well, not happiness, but anyway. Different functions of the mind. Okay? Got it? In Tibetan, Sem is main mind, chitta. Semchung, which here is byung, right? Means mental function. Okay? So any mental function, if something is a mental function, which is ignorance, misunderstanding. By the way, to be honest, you're going to have to go between ignorance and misunderstanding. Sometimes ignorance is going to fit better. Sometimes misunderstanding is going to fit better. First link of the 12, misunderstanding fits. But there are other things called marikpa which are just ignorance. Okay, so you've got to be flexible. The mental function, which is misunderstanding, but which is not tied up with negative emotions. Okay? That's this new guy's definition of marikpa. The first link, the blind man, misunderstanding. Now, he's trying to give that as a definition. Because it's kachik, because it's another guy who show up, it must be wrong. Okay? Now, we don't know why. We just know it's wrong. Okay? Now, first thing that's going to happen, which Adam's book shows you, we are going to give him a counterexample. Okay? Somebody comes and says, everything that has a color is red. So we say, take a banana. And then we say something sarcastic. Oh, I guess it's red. Okay, got it? So we're going to take a counterexample. You already know from the position of the argument that what he's going to say next is something which doesn't fit his definition. Okay? And then the rest of the arguments are to prove it. Okay, so here we go. Here's the counterexamples coming. Denzin du gyurpe semjung che chen. Okay, let's take a banana. But here it's take the mental function which believes that things are real. Denzin, which believes that things are real. Okay, in DCI language, what is denzin about the pen? What is the state of mind that thinks the pen is real from its own side? Okay, from its own side. Okay, so let's take that mental function, which believes zin means to hold, right? What's the Sanskrit root for zin? Dhur. And that's where dharma comes from. Dharma, because the definition of dharma is anything which holds its own nature, meaning anything. Okay. Which exists. Dharma has two big meanings. What are they? Buddha teaching or? Yeah, or anything. I'm going to keep going till you get something wrong. Or you don't know something. Okay. Rangi ngo zimbe na che. Definition of dharma, general dharma, thing, is anything which holds its own nature. But how is dharma defined with the verb hold? The religion. When you use dharma to mean teachings.
It means it holds you back from doing wrong things.
From the lower realms. Okay? So when they explain the word dharma meaning teachings, They say it's dharma because it comes from the root dur, because it keeps you from falling to become animal or hell realm. Okay, that's okay. So, Denzin de Gyurpe Semjung Chuchen. Let's take the mental function where you believe that things are real. Okay. Then the next tell, Adam, goes up or down? The first tell.
Sarcastic. So
Yeah, sarcastic down.
Well,
Oh, you're telling me that's the first link?
no.
You're telling me that's the first link? It sounds like the first link, but apparently it's not.
Sounds close.
There's something wrong with it. There's something wrong, something subtle. Okay, somehow it's not the first link. Why, we don't know yet. Okay.
I guess this wording is a little different than the other
Yeah, the
tells.
sequence.
Could you
that
talk
doesn't
about
change.
that?
Oh, he could have put a comma. Yeah, he's just going fast.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
Okay.
It should have been like this. Okay, you want to hear the whole discussion? Watch.
Yeah.
Okay, really, this is the whole discussion. Okay, but we don't. When he's in a rush, he just said, "Oh yeah, 'cause that." Okay. Oh yeah, 'cause that. Okay. Oh yeah means you telling me that's the first link, and then understood. The other guy says, "Why you say that?" And he says, "'Cause that." Okay. 'Cause what? 'Cause it fits what you started out with. It's a mental function which is not involved with negative emotions, and it is ignorance. It's some kind of ignorance. Now, this is a very Svatantrika thing, okay? This is a very Svatantrika thing, and you have to get used to it. They believe ignorance, misunderstanding is not a klesha.
For the Swatantrika?
Yeah.
Oh.
It doesn't directly disturb your mind. It causes you all the trouble in the universe after that. But it doesn't directly disturb your mind. That's their position. Prasangika,
It's a mental.
they believe it's a mental, a negative emotion. Why? Because an arhat is defined as
Someone who's gotten rid of
someone who got rid of their negative emotions. So ignorance must be a negative emotion. Okay? So there's a big difference between the two schools here. Big difference between the two schools. Okay? Got it?
Do the teachings of mind and mental factors come from which school?
They start with Abhidharma. They're, we can say proto Samjung teachings. And then they reach their peak with the Sangha.
Mm.
You know, Buddhist psychology. Okay. Which we didn't include. Nobody got that book. There is a book by Choni Lama, a good one, good short one. I threw it into the Shantideva teaching somehow. Anyway, here we go. So let's take the mental function, which believes that things are real. Are you telling me it's the first link? Why? Because it fits your definition. Meaning it's not a negative emotion. It is misunderstanding, and it's a mental function. Those three things. Those are his three parts of his definition. Okay? Everybody comfortable? No, I don't care. Okay. Chirchandin Bichir, because it's what I said it was. Okay. Then he comes back and says, you know what, you're right. A mental function where you believe things are real is the first link. Okay? Duh. He said, duh. You know, I changed my story. It is the first link. Wait a minute. That, yeah. So this tail goes up or down?
Up.
It's down.
Down?
Okay.
Yeah.
Nyomo yimba tao. Should go up, right?
No,
Yeah.
because they're saying they agree, so then we have to go on and show them how agreeing is not the way, is also not the right way.
I'm confused.
They're saying, when they are mental afflictions. Okay. But then it is a mental affliction because it's ignorance.
Let's go back. I'm confused myself. Let's take the mental function where you believe things are real, okay? Dao Tao, are you telling me it's ignorance? It's link number one.
That's like,
He said, why do you say that? And I say, because it fits your definition. And then he says, why? And I say, because it is what it is. It's the chichen I gave you. It's the example I gave you, okay? Then he changes and says, oh, well then I agree that the mental function which believes things are real is the first link, okay? Then we say, are you telling me,
Oh, so it's down.
if you agree that it's a person link, then it's a mental affliction.
Yeah.
mm,
You're saying it's a mental affliction?
Isn't that what he said?
no, because he said not a mental affliction.
But he said, but you agreed that it's the first link. Then he's actually, so it's a mental affliction because it's the first
He
link.
said not.
No?
Oh, no. He said not Nyomo Chen, and now he's saying Nyomo. That's the difference.
Let's go to sometimes you can go on and then go back, okay? Dominante, you can't agree that it's a negative emotion. You shouldn't agree that it's a negative emotion because it's a shidu. Nyundip shidu.
Yeah.
It's an obstacle to Buddhahood and not an obstacle to nirvana,
Mm-hmm.
okay? Which means, ready?
Yeah.
If something is an obstacle to Buddhahood, it's not a negative emotion
Huh.
in this school. Okay? Negative emotions are reserved for obstacles to nirvana, but they are not considered obstacles to omniscience. Because you get over them before you have to worry about omniscience. To reach arhat, you have to get rid of your negative emotions. To reach nirvana.
They're musu. It can't be both. There can't be both.
Yeah, they can't be both, sorry.
Can't be both.
Something you have to get rid of to reach nirvana doesn't count as something you have to get rid of to get to Buddhahood.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, something you have to get rid of to get to Buddhahood means everything after arhat you have to get rid of to get to Buddhahood, okay? Okay?
All the stuff that's
So we went ahead. Now working backwards, okay? You can't agree. This dominute means you can't agree that mental function, which is misunderstanding and which isn't involved with negative emotions, is a negative emotion. You can't agree that because it's sorry. Yeah, you can't agree with that because it's a shidu. It's an obstacle to Buddhahood.
To omniscience, right?
Omniscience, yeah. Same thing. Okay.
You can't agree that it's a mental affliction.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
No.
Because if you say it's a negative emotion, it would have to be a negative emotion obstacle.
Mm-hmm.
And those are obstacles to arhat. They are not obstacles to Buddhahood.
Sorry again, but then what's the mark Yinpe cheer?
Marikpa Mitchell?
It's saying because it's
Now that's why I don't know if he's going up or down here.
yeah.
It's not Marikpa.
He's saying because it's the first
Okay, I'm
link.
going to say this. I'm saying we'll go down here.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's what I thought.
oh, you telling me that's a negative emotion? Why? Because it's
Is
misunderstanding as the first link.
Right.
As the first link. What did we just learn about the first link?
That it's not
It's got to be
an affliction.
it's got to be a negative emotion. Okay? In the wheel of life, the first link must be a negative emotion because it's the wheel of life.
Uh-huh.
It's the wheel of life. Okay? That it's a special misunderstanding, which is a negative emotion. Why? Because when you become an arhat, you get out of the wheel of life. Got it? When you reach nirvana, you get rid of all your negative emotions.
Wow.
Okay? Got it?
Yeah.
So therefore, if something keeps you in the wheel, if it's link number one,
It's link number
it must be a negative emotion.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Got it?
Yeah. Wow. That's cool. Did they say that somewhere, or did we just?
No, don't forget the wheel of life actually, when you get out, the point is that you become an arhat, not that you become a Buddha. Okay? The point is you get out of rebirth, the things in the middle of the wheel. It doesn't mean you necessarily become Buddha, you know? It's just, the 12 links is the science of getting out of the rebirth. You know, samsaric rebirth. Okay? Sorry for my nose. Okay?
You should paint an arhat outside, right? Instead of
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
So the Buddha's not an arhat?
By the way, but what's the bottom say? Sampacha shina jupacha, damba kinla langchen shin, chida deni shumbacha.
If you follow these teachings, you'll smash samsara like an elephant smashes a house of reeds.
Yeah. And then, chidak deni shumbacha. Chidak,
Destroy the Lord of
you
Death.
destroy the Lord of Death. That sounds like, it doesn't sound like Buddhahood.
Yeah.
It's more like nirvana. No more rebirth. No more samsaric rebirth. Okay? Now, but still, to be comfortable here, I gotta decide whether this tell is up or down.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't. Did the guy get convinced of our reason or not?
Well, suppose you did
Dude, what's Dumina here?
Agree.
I know you just said.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Dumina is now he's accepting it,
Dominate.
right? But then
Diminute, you can't agree.
Duminite, you can't agree to that.
right.
'Cause
well,
it's
you
just
must
in
have
a-
agreed.
So if he can't agree to that, and then
So
then
I say
it
this
has to
tell
be
is down. I gotta say it's
Yeah.
down. Yomo yimbata.
Right.
Are you telling me it's a negative emotion? He said why? And we say, because it's the first link.
And he seems to say yes, and then we nail him.
Yeah, but you can't agree that it's a negative emotion because it's shiddup, okay? Which means that the mental function where you think things are real is not the first link
Oh, okay.
Because,
in this school. It's not the first link.
because,
Because it's
This is
not,
meant to-
it's not a negative emotion.
Boy.
because it's a
Yeah, who said that? Because it's not a negative emotion.
But it even implies
Somehow it's not a negative
Our
emotion.
because it's a
That.
mental function, or somehow they're making a distinction here.
Yeah, if it's going to be the first link, it's going to have to be a negative emotion. Because people get rid of the first link are people who reach nirvana. And nirvana is defined as the end of your negative emotions.
So,
Couldn't something that's not a negative emotion lead to the end of the negative emotions?
Well, I don't know. Okay.
I mean, does it imply that our hats have ignorance?
yeah, what?
Right? If they have that's not the first link. If they have the
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, it implies that they can have something which is not a negative emotion, which doesn't keep them in the wheel.
Right.
So it implies that our heart still has this, right? From this.
kind of says that.
Well, we're not sure yet.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
It's a loose text
Now, I'll tell you.
implication.
That's why I said stay loose.
Okay.
Stay loose. Don't make decisions yet. Wait till the fight's over. Okay? Like don't
Yeah.
feel like you have to know yet. Okay?
Okay.
This is Buddhist education. This is not Western education.
Yeah.
You know, in Buddhist education, like okay, I'm going to stay calm. I'm not sure what's going on yet, but hopefully by the end I'll figure it out. Okay.
Hopefully by the end of the 20 years.
No, and that's don't think you have to understand everything. In this class, you are allowed, you are encouraged, you are demanded that you go back and change your translation. When you reach page 2, you change page 1. And it's not that you are
nailed down
So
on the
terrible.
No, it's not that you're a bad person because you went back and changed your translation. It's that you learned it more.
Yeah.
And then you learned that your first translation. When I started debating, I threw out my Abhidharma translation.
Yeah.
12 years of work. I literally threw it out. It was on a yellow notebook, I remember. And I just dumped it in the garbage can.
That's so sad.
And I started debating, and I realized, oh my God, this half of it's wrong. You know?
wow.
Okay. So here we go. That's all you get for that one.
Okay.
Make a provisional translation and decide you're going to go back later and change it if you have to. Okay. Kachik. Rangi Ngyamdar. Two prenasals. Rangi Ngyamdar. Gyurpe Rekpa Yeshiki Gyamda. Mitunchok su Gyurpe Semjin. Maripesani Stirna. So it's another guy. He comes up with another definition of misunderstanding, and I would say you can understand, you can assume that he's talking about misunderstanding as
Firstly,
the first link.
Mm-hmm.
The first link. He doesn't say it. He doesn't say Dambo Marikpa.
Right.
Dambo Marikpa means
One.
misunderstanding as the first link. First, which means misunderstanding is the first link. But I think you can assume it here. You can assume it. Okay. So here's a new guy. I see him like a little schoolboy who comes into the class and he says, I have a better idea. What? I think this is the definition of the first link in the Wheel of Life. Okay. By the way, his discussion of the first link is half the book, because that's where you break the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You know, we're not going to discuss feelings for 200 pages. Okay. The crucial word here is Gyamda. Anybody want to take a shot?
Exclusive. Oh, Ganda. So it's the pair.
What's in Dawa?
The moon. Yeah, the moon.
One of a pair.
Yeah.
Dawa means one of a pair. It's the Tibetan word for moon,
Things
Yeah.
that are
because moon is one of a pair, sun and moon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
contradictory.
We said the honorific word for spouse, husband or wife, is kunda, body pair. Your body pair. In English we say your better half. My wife is my better half. Okay. It means, Gyanda means one of two elements in a contradiction.
Mm-hmm.
Hot and cold. There are two Gyandas. One is hot, one is cold. Two partners in a contradiction. Okay? Two partners in a fight. It's called Gyanda. Okay? Contradiction mate.
Contradiction mate. Is it usually used referring to people in a debate or something?
No, it refers to contradictory here perceptions.
Uh-huh.
Okay? What's the Gyanda of Marikpa?
Wisdom.
Yeah, okay. The Gyanda, I don't know how you want to translate that.
Yeah.
Opposite's
okay.
pretty good.
Cranky partner. Contra-
So the
Con-
opposite's okay, right? That's what Quinn's saying.
maybe you can say opposite.
Too.
Okay. The definition. Okay, here we go. The definition, Senyi, of Marikpa, misunderstanding, is, we go backwards, right? English syntax, go backwards. Is that mental function, okay, which acts as the, mitunchok means,
To other position or something?
no, it means,
Position
where
notes?
I translate it as which works against.
Okay.
Which works against. For example, the mintunchok for good meditation is what? Overeating, not getting enough sleep, you know, not keeping your morality. Okay, so I often translate it as which works against. Okay, literally it means non-harmony side. When my teacher's English was non-harmony side, and I used to translate his English into English. You know, like I was always there when he had meetings with his students, because I had to translate his English into English. He'd say, "You fight problem, wife, go," and then I'd say, "You shouldn't have a problem with your wife. You should, you know." People say, "You're his translator." I say, "Yeah." They said, "You speak Tibetan?" I said, "No, I speak English." So okay, which works against its opposite, which is wisdom.
opposite.
Okay,
Oh, okay.
okay. which is the understanding, which is the opposite of it. Okay? It's a very weird sentence, okay? The definition of misunderstanding is that mental function which is the works against its opposite, which is wisdom, which is itself the rikpa, the understanding, which works against misunderstanding. Okay, I'll say it again. Here we go. Ready? The definition of misunderstanding is that mental function which works against its opposite, which is wisdom, which is the understanding, which is the opposite of misunderstanding. Okay? You okay?
Something sounds fun, right?
Well, I mean, is there an implication that something could be its
Hey, it's Kachik.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's the other guy. The other guy's always stupid. Okay.
Boy, I just felt
Okay.
endorphins release when you
Yeah,
said
yeah, yeah.
Don't we want to try and
Oh,
understand
that's
why you
nice.
would have that thought?
What's that?
Don't we want to try and understand why you would have that thought so we can... come
By
up
the
with
way,
right-
in the end, I mean, you want to go somewhere. Your graduate students, when Geshe Michael's long gone on his porch in his rocking chair, your graduate students, your students, they will figure out who said this in history. Somebody said it,
Yeah.
like around
Oh,
1500, 1300. Somebody had this position.
Yeah.
Okay, they got to go find it in the database. Hopefully, the 20,000 books, which we don't have enough money to put in the database, will be in the database by then, and they can figure out. Probably this was somebody's idea. Who it was? They rarely say. It's its own copy and tradition not to name people who had stupid ideas. Gyaltsab tends to ignore that. but Jetsun Kappa will say, there's people who think. He doesn't often name them. And, it's kind of fun to go see who it was. Right now, we're focusing on inputting Tsongkhapa's tradition.
Yeah.
When we're done, okay? When we're done, 50 years from now, 100 years from now, then you can put in all the other schools. Okay? So you can find who gave the bad argument.
Why wait?
We don't have enough money,
yeah.
okay? We don't have enough time. We gotta put in the correct stuff first. Then if you have more time, you can put in all the guys who made arguments against Tsongkhapa. That's okay.
All the schools?
Yeah.
I mean Tibetan schools, not Buddhist, not Indian schools. We should put in all the Indian schools. That's part of Tsongkhapa. But whether you put in non-Tsongkhapa schools of Tibet,
Yeah.
who oftentimes don't have the background, and I'm not just being prejudiced, sectarian. You debate Sakyas nowadays. They just don't have they don't have the weapons. They don't have the ammunition. They just don't have it. And you spend 10 minutes there, and you can't hide in a debate. You put them up in front of 2,000 monks and say, "Okay, debate," and they're like, they just don't have the information. Okay, so. And I'm not being sectarian. I'm just saying from my own life. I debated them in the winter debates, and it's like talking to kids, and you're just like, okay, good luck, I love you, come back. They never came back. Okay, anyway, by good luck, you're in the best school. I'm sorry. Okay, and I'm not being sectarian. I don't say that they're not bad people. There are many kind people, but they don't have this information. Okay. Okay, and here we go. Here's our counter example. By the way, it's the same counter example. Let's consider a mental function which believes that things are real, or where you believe that things are real. Okay. Those of you who care, if you're careful about the English, the Tibetan says the mental function which believes that things are real. But in good English, you have to say the mental function where you believe that things are real. So, or where someone believes things are real. It's not the mental function which believes. You see, we don't say In English, we don't say your understanding believes.
Mm-hmm.
We say you believe through your understanding, or okay, we say something like that. So if you want to be strictly correct in English, you wouldn't translate this as the mental function which believes that things are real. In good English, you would say the mental function where a person believes that things are real. Okay, you have to add those words in English, and that's a sign of a less than perfect translation. They will, because the Tibetan makes the state of mind the subject of the sentence. The translator, who's not sensitive, will make the state of mind the subject of the sentence, but it's not in English. You don't say my anger doesn't like you, but the Tibetan says that.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? You have to say I have anger and I don't like you, okay, or something like that. Okay. So I'm just telling you, if you want to be a good translator, don't make the state of mind the subject of the sentence. You shouldn't say in English, this is a mental function which believes. You have to say a mental function where the person believes.
Yeah.
Okay, because in English we don't say your anger is mad. Okay, got it?
That's a good tip. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a good tip.
Yeah.
And if you don't use that tip, again, you put a little obstacle in front of the reader. Because he has to say, what's he mean the anger gets angry? And then he'll figure it out. But you just put another obstacle in his way. You put enough obstacles in his way, he gets to the third one, he'll say, I'd rather watch TV tonight. And you lose him. And he won't come back. You have one chance with a reader. They put that book down, it's going to collect dust for years. Okay. Many people told me, your diamond cutter book, it got translated into Chinese, I bought it, I read the first chapter, I got lost, I put it on the shelf. Many people told me. Yeah, my book. Okay. And then 6 years later, I was cleaning my house and I read it, Okay, anyway. Tsunja Dera Tao. Are you telling me it fits your definition? Okay, Tseni Tsunja, Tseni Tsunja, Tseni Tsunja. Tseni definition. Tsunja, what the definition defines. What's the Tsunja here? What are we
mind-
fighting about?
The state of mind.
Yeah.
The mental function.
You're halfway there, Marikpa.
The first thing.
First link, misunderstanding. That's what's being defined in all these fights, in all these battles. We're trying to define
Right.
misunderstanding, then understood as the first link, which is not the same as general misunderstanding. Okay, misunderstanding, which functions as the first link, means a misunderstanding which specifically keeps you in rebirth. Okay, different. It's not general misunderstanding. He doesn't say it here, but it's understood. Because why? The whole subject is the 12 links. We promised the discussion of the 12 links. We're not going to repeat every single time. We're discussing misunderstanding as the first link. Okay, got it? Tsunja Dera Tao. Oh, so it's the first link? So the state of mind, the mental function, which believes that things are real. Okay? Are you telling me that's the first link? Then he says, no, what's he saying in Tibetan?
Yeah.
What's he saying in Tibetan?
Tsunja Dera. Oh.
No.
Tsunja Dera Tao.
Tsunja Dera Tao.
Yeah.
Are you telling me that it's the ignorance which is first link?
Cheers.
Then he always says Chichir.
Oh,
His
I see.
first response is always Chichir. Understood, not printed. Okay, not printed. Literally, he says, because why? Chichir, because why? And then our next statement always starts with,
Because.
in English, because, okay? He says, because why?
Because it's the definition.
And then we say, because it fits your definition. Okay? It's a counterexample, right?
Yeah.
Are you telling me it's the first link? Yes. Oh, why do you say that? Because it fits your definition. What was his definition? Let's go back. A mental function, which is the opposite of wisdom, which is the opposite of misunderstanding. Okay, let's just think of it that way. He said, any mental function which is the opposite of wisdom is the first link. Any mental function which is the opposite of understanding emptiness is the first link. There's something wrong there. Okay, there's something wrong there. Okay, somehow it's not perfect. English idiom. It's close, but no cigar. Okay, no cigar. His definition is very close, but not perfect. Close, but not perfect. Okay. Okay. Sanjay Dayatala, you telling me it's the first link in dependent attention? Why you say that? Because it fits your definition. Okay. Then we're gonna confirm it, reconfirm. We're gonna say, we're gonna repeat his definition. We said, because it fits your definition. He says, I don't know. We said, well, yeah, it does, because
Here's your definition.
it is a mental function, Simjung. I'm gonna put that up at the top. It's a mental function which works against the opposite
Of the wisdom.
of misunderstanding, which is the wisdom which perceives emptiness.
Yeah.
And another way to say that is the understanding, which is its opposite. Misunderstanding's opposite. Okay, let's say it again. My counterexample fits your definition. Any mental function which holds things as real fits your definition of the first link. Why? Because it is a mental function, it's working against its opposite, which is a wisdom which perceives. Now he uses emptiness for the first time.
Yeah.
He says Kongxing. He doesn't say Dagmepa. He doesn't say lack of a self nature. For the first time we have the word emptiness, okay? So this is a mental function which is working against the understanding of emptiness. Okay? Which is a kind of understanding which works against misunderstanding. Okay, he add that. Now whether that's necessary or not, I don't know. Okay? Okay? Church and the MBA, okay? Because the example I gave you is the example I gave you.
Yeah,
Okay?
definitely true.
The mental function which thinks that things are real. Okay? The mental function which thinks that things are real. There's something wrong with that,
Definition.
with that counterexample. Somehow that counterexample is not the first link. The mental function which thinks that things are real somehow is not the first link. Okay? If it's his definition is mistaken, somehow it doesn't fit the first link. Okay? We don't know why yet. Leave your mind open. Be open. You know, don't insist on knowing. Don't insist on understanding it right away, because you'll go crazy. You know, by the end of this few pages, you'll understand. But don't get all, you know, uptight now. Don't go tight. You know, I don't understand this. Let the fight go on. You'll understand by the end of the fight. Okay? If you agree, okay? Sorry. If you agree that it is the first link, okay? Sanjat Dertal, right? Up here. If you agree that it is the first link, now I'm sorry, you're going to be frustrated, more frustrated. Kong du kak sin o. Sin is the past tense of zin, and it's just a past tensorizer. It's a past tensorizer. It makes things past tense. We already got, go.
Okay, stopped.
Yeah, we already refuted that above. Thanks. You know, we already beat that argument last time. Oh, thanks. You know.
I'm a new guy.
Okay. Yeah, I'm the new guy. Just give me a little more information.
Go back to the tape.
Let's go back to where we gongdu. Gongdu means above, right? What's gyami koma?
Coma.
Gyami koma.
Oh, above the. Yeah, it says in the
Chinese emperor.
Oh.
Kongma means the higher one. Okay. This same gong here. Up above, we already beat that. See, up above and the one who's above, same word, okay? Koma. When you add ma, it's not feminine, okay? It just means the higher one. It means the emperor of China, okay? So here we go, Kondu Kaksino. Some are up here. Oh, here it is. Right here.
Shader.
Separate means
Right.
bench.
Shiribin Beichir.
Separate bench.
So apparently, the mental function, which believes that things are real, is not a negative emotion.
Okay.
It's an obstacle to Buddhahood.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an obstacle to Arhat. It's not an obstacle to getting out of the wheel of rebirth. It's somehow a higher obstacle. Okay, got it? Believing things are real in this school is not a negative emotion. And which implies,
Arahat can have that.
yeah, if something is if something is the first link,
This, yeah.
it should be a negative emotion.
I see.
Or it should be involved with negative emotions, okay? Why? Because an arhat is defined as the person who got rid of their negative emotions. Why? Because a person who understands where their husband's really coming from when their husband criticizes them cannot get angry at their husband. It's not possible.
Oh,
Okay? It's not possible. If you really understand the pen, you can never again get angry at another person who criticizes you.
okay.
Because you understand they're coming from you yelled at your kids last week. Okay? So it's impossible for a person who understands karma clearly to get angry at another person. And that's nirvana. That's why perceiving emptiness is the only way to stop anger forever. Okay, so all the books written on psychology in English for the last 200 years, you can throw them out. Okay, I never even spend any time, I just throw them out. People hand me a book, I said, thank you so much. And then going to the airport, I toss it. I don't even want to carry it. Okay, I just throw it away. Okay, why? Because according to Buddhism, the only way to stop your anger is to understand that when your husband yells at you, it's coming from you. Then it's impossible to get angry, okay? And that's what it is to break out of the wheel of life, okay? Not getting angry at your husband when he calls you stupid because you understand that he's coming from seeds that you planted when you yelled at your kids last week is the only way to get out of the wheel of life. In Buddhism, okay? All right. So somehow, stopping the mental function that believes that something is real in this school is not the first thing,
It's not first time.
because it's an obstacle to Buddhahood, not
Not to.
to reaching nirvana. Okay, now why? Hopefully he's going to talk about it. Okay, here we go. Whew. I don't even know where we are. Here?
It's true.
Oh yeah, we're down here, right?
Yeah, Rangi Gyalza.
Now, I'll just draw something to your attention. Well, no, I'm not gonna. He added two. The next debater refines his argument. The next debater refines his argument. He adds two things. I mean, basically, I'm just giving it to you, okay? He doesn't say which is the works against the understanding of emptiness.
Yeah.
He says which works against the understanding that nothing is itself. Okay, is that where the next argument's wrong? Okay, right here. This means to understand, to realize that things are not themselves. Anatman. Okay, an means not. Atman means themselves. Okay. He doesn't say shunyata. He doesn't say kongshin.
Okay.
This debater uses the word anatman. He doesn't use the word shunyata, kongshin. Okay. That could be where the next argument's broken. But he does something else. So I'm helping you out here. How does this argument differ from the last one? He adds the word momba. Oh, mukche rengje mongje kunne number gyal. Oh, mukche rengje mongje kunne number gyal. What is that?
Is it from the Diamond Cutter Sutra?
It's from the Vajrayogini.
Yeah, it's one of the 8 lines in honor of Vajrayogini. Okay, you got rid of all Mukje, Rengje,
Oh.
Mongje.
Well, what do you say? I don't understand.
Huh?
Confusion, right?
Yeah, how's it translated by Geshe Michael? Confusion, makers of dark, of confusion. This is a tantric text that they did for 3 years in their retreat. He did a 3-year retreat. The chief did a 3-year retreat, silent retreat, which is why they talk so much now. Okay, and Chinzom did a 3-year retreat. We got a lot of 3-year retreaters here. And I did it. Okay, how many we have? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Cool.
We have 4 in one room. That's pretty unusual. Okay, so anyway, this Mongche means confusion. Momba, okay,
Confusion.
confusion. Is all confusion ignorance? Is all ignorance confusion? So this Kachik, this other guy, the new other guy, has changed the story of the last other guy in 2 ways. I'm just telling you. He substituted anatman for shunyata, no self-nature. And he's mentioning he's mentioning confusion. He's adding the word confusion to the mental function. Okay? Okay? Mongba.
Yeah.
It's obviously related to Nyomong, but it's not the same. Okay. By the way, Momba is one of the mental functions listed in the classical books of Buddhist psychology. So Momba is one of the mental functions. 51? 52, I don't remember. In Abhidharma 46, I think. I'm not sure, 43, something like that. Abhidharma has a bit less. Okay. But the point is, it's listed as a discrete mental function. So just to make your life easier, why don't we go look up in the books of Buddhist psychology, what's the definition of Mongba, of confusion? Secondary mental function. It's not one of the primary ones. It's a secondary one. Like Yenlaki Kadok. So I'm going to create a search, and again, how you frame the search, how you design the search is crucial. Okay? How you design the search is everything. If you design the search the wrong way, you won't find anything, or you'll find 10,000. Okay? So it's crucial to learn how to design a search. You have to think about it all day. How am I going to do this search? Okay? I'm going to say Mongba, but I'm not going to add the suffix letter. I'm going to assume some people might have spelled it wrong. Okay, so I'm not going to say Mongbe Tsini or something. Okay, I'm going to just say Mong. Okay, and then I'm going to put the word Tsini near it. Yeah. Can you find me the definition? How close?
Yeah, 2 or 3 lines. Same line.
Yeah, same line. Because it's going to say the definition of confusion is.
All right.
But does
Okay.
it go later?
Huh?
Does it have Hmong and then definition and then Seni at the end?
Mong
No,
is
it's going to be blah, 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 blah. Mongbe Tsini.
Oh,
Oh.
Okay, in Tibetan syntax. Let's do 2 to make Utpala happy.
It makes me
Well, sometimes the typist might have added some returns. We don't know. Okay. By the way, I'm not 100% sure we're gonna hit anything, but I hope so. Ready? This is not it.
Wrong direction.
This is not it. Yeah, wrong direction. Where's my eyeballs? I'm sorry that I can't make this larger yet. We don't. We need more funding to have more.
Almost.
Oh, we got 102 matches. I propose that because we have 100 matches, and I don't want to go through every 100, Let's try Mongbetseni.
Why not?
Yeah, we can try even variations on that theme.
Exactly. Very nice. Let's misspell it
Yeah.
and see if we get it. And then we wipe out this one. Okay. By the way, the proximity search won't work. It'll default to or if you don't put anything in the second
Right.
box. If you say Jack near nothing, it will find all the jacks.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
Okay, it won't say, oh, there's nothing, there's no case of Jack near nothing, because every case of Jack is Jack near nothing.
That's-
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, logically.
Really quite
So,
And the
profound.
top 4 boxes are always or with each other.
yeah, and so are the bottom 4 with the top 4. You see, I could have put Mongbetseni down here,
Right.
and it will still work, even though this says proximity. No,
No.
you're right.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
you're right. I take it back. Okay, here we go. Mongbetseni. I hope so. Omani pe mihun.
That's the thing.
Tani. Trebu.
This is not it, okay? This is not
Cause
it.
and effect.
Okay, by the way, it's by Kamala Shila, which is interesting.
Same.
Same.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
That was all four.
Wah, wah.
Um,
Let's go to the uncatalogued stuff.
yeah.
Stuff we didn't have time to catalog. Okay. By the way, don't go to... Probably not in the Tengyu, okay? The classical place of Buddhist psychology is to go... I mean, that's a long story.
You don't find definitions as often in the Hindu.
Not often. It's not often said that way. Wah, wah. Okay, well, anyway. By the way, I'm going to start another search, okay? At the same time, which remember you're allowed to do that. I'm going to look for Mukbetseni.
Command N is your friend.
Okay, so can I just ask
Yeah.
a time question real quick?
Yeah, hang on one second. Hang on one second. A minute. That's not it. Hang on. Okay, yeah.
You could do half of somebody else now, or we could just keep going on this text. If you think that we're going to expostulate in the afternoon, then somebody will get their time chopped in half. And they will only get a half hour. Or we just
Yun Chen. You think Dr. Wu's coming today or not?
He's here already. I'm checking. No,
Oh, he's here.
already. I got a text from.
He's here?
He's in his office.
Okay, so we're going to go to...
we could expostulate now then,
Yeah.
or yeah.
Yeah.
Or we could do this for another 5 minutes.
Let's do 5 minutes of expostulate, and then Word's going to show us how his work. Because I'm trying to impress Dr. Wu with all of their work, so he will keep giving them some rent money. Okay, this is not it. Okay, anyway, he's going to talk about it himself, okay? Let's just go to the book.
I'm not asking you to do it, but could you do like look for Dun Cheeks with?
Dong Dun Cheek?
Yeah.
You could.
From the Dun Cheeks go to Tsennies?
You could.
Okay.
Less fruitful.
Okay.
But you can
Out
do
of
that.
desperation.
Yeah, if you're desperate, you can do all kinds of things.
Hey.
Anyway, the difference of this new arguer is that he took out shunyatan, he replaced it with no self nature. And he added the word confused. Okay, so here we go. Lende ki dawal rakbala mombe marik bachen. Let's consider. By the way, sometimes I'm going to suggest that Mongba here we translate as a lack of clarity. It can mean darkness, okay? So I'm going to suggest we translate it here as a lack of clarity, okay? Let's consider the misunderstanding where you have a lack of clarity about the less subtle forms of the connection between karma and consequences.
Mm-hmm.
So gyunde, cause and effect,
Mm-hmm.
but lende, karma and its consequences. Don't use the word result when the first part is karma.
Oh.
So don't say karma and its results. In English, karma and its consequences is sweeter. It sounds more sweet. You know, the consequences of your doing this are going to be very serious. Okay, so consequence is a good translation for result when the first part is karma. When the first part is cause, it sounds better to say cause and effect.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Nice.
So let's consider misunderstanding in the form of a lack of clarity about the more obvious forms of karma and what happens to you after you make karma. Okay, the connection between karma and consequences. Okay, if you lose your money, you must have stolen money. You see what I mean? Those are the obvious ones. Okay. Tseni Data. Are you saying that's the are you saying your definition fits this kind of misunderstanding because this is misunderstanding, which is what you're trying to define. This is what you're trying to define. This is what you're trying to define. What's he trying to define? Misunderstanding. Well, hopefully it's still Dumbo Monik, but I'm not sure at this point. Okay. By the way, yeah. The Chichen de Imbichir. Are you telling me that definition fits this thing? Why do you say that? Because this thing is, I guess, first link. Does your definition fit this? Because it is first link. You all right?
No, confused.
Does your definition, which talks about lack of clarity, okay,
Yeah.
as the definition of the first link,
Uh-huh.
does it fit this thing? Well, why do you say that? Because this is the first link.
Does it fit the Chichen?
Because this is first link.
Uh-huh.
That's an interesting statement.
Uh-huh.
Okay, misunderstanding the connections between karma and its effects is first link. Is it the first link?
No.
Let's keep going.
That's what he's saying,
Okay.
though, it is. I mean, it's,
Chichen de Imichur, de Imichur. Why? Because such a thing does exist. Such a kind of ignorance does exist.
oh.
Okay, got it? Then he's going to prove that such a kind of ignorance does exist, and he's going to quote Kuntu, Samuchaya. Samuchaya.
Which one?
There's a bunch of Samuchaya.
Yeah.
So thanks a lot. Okay. Kunle Tupa means compendium or collected work. You can say compendium. There's a Do Kunle Tupa. There's a Shiksha Samuchaya by Shantideva. There's a Nagarjuna wrote a Kunle Tupa. Okay, so to find out which one, you would have to go find it. And we can do it next time. We can figure out which one it is. But anyway, that says there's two kinds of lack of clarity. Momba Nabanite. And I'm going a little bit fast because we're running out of time. And I don't want to stop before we finish this guy. There's two kinds of lack of clarity. There's two kinds of lack of clarity. One is a lack of clarity about how karma ripens. Okay, about the karmic ripenings. Okay, the second lack of clarity is about the meaning of suchness, tattva. Okay, suchness, which is a synonym for emptiness. Okay. So when you talk about lack of clarity, there's two kinds. One is you don't fully understand how karma ripens. Second is you don't understand suchness. Therefore, there does exist a thing called lack of clarity about karma. That's all he's trying to prove here. There is such a thing as lack of clarity about karma. 2 minutes, you can't agree that your definition fits this. You can't agree that your definition fits this, because it is what it is.
Mm.
That's not a very good reason, right? Right, Adam? Doesn't fit.
Sorry.
How does it not fit?
Because the definition is the thing which a mental function which work against wisdom.
Oh, I'm going to kiss you.
And
But you're too far away.
and you
And I have a cold. He got it, okay? He got it. Now we learned something about the first link. It's not restricted to a misunderstanding of emptiness.
Uh-huh.
It can include a misunderstanding of karma.
Of karma.
Right.
Karma.
Okay, got it?
But he defined the definition earlier as was that misunderstanding. It's only
Yeah, his definition said a lack of clarity about no self-nature. Apparently that's not the important thing here, which works against the understanding of no self-nature. The lack of understanding about karma doesn't directly work against the understanding of emptiness.
Uh-huh.
Okay, we're complaining about his definition
Yeah.
because it doesn't cover a lack of clarity about karma, and that can be the first link.
Mm-hmm.
We learned something new today. Okay, what keeps you in samsara, according to your school, doesn't necessarily have to be to do with the pen. It can have to do with where does stuff come from. You know, karma, lack of understanding about karma. Yes.
Well, we said that there were two differences. So
Yeah,
him using Tongni, I'm sorry,
economy.
Konani is different from Bakme. Bakme.
Depends on what school you're in.
Mm.
In this school, there's no difference.
Oh man, I don't know.
Yeah.
They like to make a lot of
I suspect that in this school it's a synonym for Tongyi. Yeah.
But what about for, so Dakme is a synonym for?
No, Dagme is not, for sure.
So the
In this school, okay, because you asked the question,
Uh-huh.
not because we have any time.
No.
3 tracks, right? This track, you can talk about emptiness. When you talk Bodhisattva track, in this school, lower Madhyamika, this track, you always talk about emptiness. They perceive emptiness,
Mm.
which is the subtle lack of a self to things.
It's a thing.
Now, that's a whole subject.
Well,
Yeah.
But these 2 tracks, you talk about a lack of a self. So in your school, emptiness has 3 flavors, 3 degrees, 3 degrees of emptiness. So in your school, the subject of the degrees of emptiness is a big subject. You know, 1st degree, 2nd degree, 3rd degree emptiness, real emptiness, kind of real emptiness. Okay, and the other schools don't accept it. Okay, this school says if you don't have compassion, you can't see real emptiness, but you will see some kind of emptiness, and you can become an arhat. Okay, lower arhat. But the higher schools say, come on, you know, there's not really degrees of emptiness, like half emptiness, 3/4 emptiness. Okay, okay. So that's a big difference between the 2 middle way schools. And your presentation of the 3 flavors, these 3 degrees of emptiness, is very sophisticated and helpful. It's not some kind of crazy thing. Okay.
Sasi
Buddhi Joshi Medotam Rira Mingshi Ninde Gempadi Sangye Shingdu Mingte Uwargi Dokunanda Shingla Chuparsho Idam Guru Ratna Mandala Kamriyatayami
Gewa
Di Dewo Kun Sunam Yeshe Tsotsok Shing Sunam Yeshe Le Chung Wei Tangpar Kunyi Tangpar Shon. Okay,
Thank you.
cool. Good job. You're so brave to sit here with no Tibetan and attack these books. You know?